No maps, no GPS, no planes, no cars. And yet somehow, ancient humans crossed the entire planet. They walked from Africa to South America, sailed across open ocean without knowing what was on the other side, hauled tons of goods across mountains and deserts. So how did they do it? The answer isn't one thing. It's a series of breakthroughs, each one more incredible than the last. The first transportation technology ancient humans had was their feet. And honestly, that was enough. Not because humans are fast. A cheetah can hit 70 miles an hour. We top out at 15 and only for a few seconds before we're gasping. But here's the superpower: endurance. Ancient humans could walk 20 miles in a day, sleep and do it again and again and again for weeks. No other animal on Earth can do that. Why? Because our feet have arches that act like springs. Our Achilles tendons store and release energy with every step. And we have 2 million sweat glands that keep us cool, while every other large mammal overheats and has to stop. We weren't built to be fast. We were built to never stop. And here's proof. In 1978, scientists found footprints in Tanzania pressed into volcanic ash 3.6 million years ago. 2 ancient humans walking upright. They look almost exactly like yours. For nearly 4 million years, that was the only way humans traveled. So what did they do with those feet? They walked out of Africa. Starting around 70,000 years ago, small groups pushed further and further, generation by generation, into territory no human had ever seen. They crossed the Middle East, spread across Asia, reached Europe, walked into Siberia, crossed a land bridge into Alaska, and kept going south through the Americas. 15,000 miles without knowing the destination even existed. Now, here's what blows my mind. They weren't walking randomly. Archaeologists have found obsidian tools hundreds of miles from the nearest volcano, shells found far inland, amber traded across mountain ranges. These people were covering massive distances on purpose to trade, to connect, to find resources they knew existed because someone told them about it. Think about that. The global network that brings you your phone, your clothes, your food started 70,000 years ago with people walking barefoot across continents. Walking works great until water stops you. For hundreds of thousands of years, a river was basically a wall. Then, ancient humans figured out something no other land animal ever has: how to cross water on purpose. In 2003, archaeologists found stone tools on the island of Flores in Indonesia. They're 800,000 years old. Here's the problem. Flores was never connected to the mainland. Even during the ice ages, there was always ocean between it and the nearest land. Someone made the crossing. We don't know what they used. Wood rots, bamboo decomposes. Whatever they floated on is gone. But the tools are there. Then, 65,000 years ago, something even more incredible happened. Humans sailed from Southeast Asia to Australia. That's 60 miles of open ocean. You can't see Australia from the other side. You can't drift there by accident. Someone built something that could float, pointed it toward water they couldn't see across, and paddled. Walking conquered land. Boats conquered water. But there was still one problem: weight. You can walk 20 miles. You can't carry a 200-pound animal that far. Your body maxes out at about 50 pounds before you break down. So ancient humans started cheating. First dragging. Kill something big, throw it on a high, drag it back to camp. Then the Travois. 2 poles tied in a V-shape. Drag the narrow end, carry the load on the wide end. One person could move 100 pounds or more. Around 15,000 years ago, they domesticated dogs. Dogs hauled weight in the Arctic. A team of 6 could carry an entire camp. Then, 5,500 years ago in Kazakhstan, humans figured out the horse. Archaeologists found wear marks on horse teeth. Somebody had been putting something in that animal's mouth to control it. They found mare's milk in pottery. These weren't hunters. They were riders. For 300,000 years, the fastest a human could travel was 4 miles an hour. On a horse, 30 miles an hour. In a single generation, the world got 8 times smaller. Donkeys hauled goods through deserts. Camels crossed the Sahara. Reindeer dragged sleds. Llamas carried cargo over the Andes. Wherever humans went, they found whatever animal fit and put it to work. And then, absurdly, late came the wheel. The oldest known wheel is from Slovenia, 5,200 years old. Boats at least 10,000 years old. Horses 5,500 years old. Humans sailed to Australia 65,000 years before the wheel. The wheel was one of the last major transportation inventions, and it started as pottery, a spinning disc to shape clay. At some point, someone looked at that disc, turned it on its side, and thought, what if I put something on top of it? First wheels were slow, solid wood, heavy. They cracked on rough ground. But around 2000 BC, someone figured out the spoked wheel. Lighter, faster, stronger. Now you had chariots, speed and cargo at the same time. Roads came after. The first paved road was built in around 4000 BC. Wheels, horses, roads all working together. Trade exploded. Empires became possible. That combination built every civilization you've ever heard of. So here's the answer to the question, how did ancient humans travel the world? They started with their feet and walked across the entire planet. They hit water and figured out how to float. They needed to carry more and learned to drag built frames partnered with animals. They invented the wheel. Every breakthrough took thousands of years. Everyone built on what came before. Now you sit in a metal box on a paved road doing 70, and you call it a commute. You fly 3,000 miles in 6 hours, and you're annoyed the Wi-Fi is slow. You summon a car to your exact location in 4 minutes, and you're irritated it takes 5. Your ancestors walked barefoot for 15,000 miles across continents they couldn't name. They reached places they'd never seen, and they did it because staying still meant dying. We solved the problem of distance so completely that we forgot it was ever a problem. Every highway, every airport, every train track on this planet. They exist because 300,000 years ago, someone looked at the horizon and started walking. They didn't know where they were going. They went anyway. That's how ancient humans traveled the world.